Already?
Yes.
Good evening and welcome to this March 11, 2024 meeting of the Bluff Village Board of Trustees. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Cole.
Here?
Trustee Fisher is absent. Trustee Freed is absent. Trustee Hatch.
Here.
Trustee Rappin.
Here.
Trustee Ryder.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Please stand and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next on our agenda is our awards and proclamation, and that would be the swearing in of Alex van der Linden as our new sergeant for our community. Alex, would you mind joining me? And Chief, please. Tonight we're celebrating Alex, who has done great work being in this community and just graduated from a university. Do you mind if I give a short timeline of your professional career? After graduating from East Linden High School in Franklin Park, Alex van der Linden served in the Army as a reservist and active duty and was honorably discharged 8 years of service as a sergeant and serving in Operation Desert Storm. Alex began his law enforcement career with the village of Schiller Park in 1997. And Alex then joined the village of Streamwood Police Department in May 1999. Alex was a K-9 officer and was deeply involved in Range Master, countless instructor certifications, NIPAS East, if I say that correctly, Mobile Field Force, Gangs and Narcotic and Detective, and finally Detective. He also completed the Northwestern University School of Police Staff and Police Staff and Command as a certificate and had a certificate of completion in January of 2017. Ultimately promoted to sergeant, Alex retired from Streamwood in the summer of 2018 and came over to join the Bluff Police Department team on July 16, 2018. Alex has a Bachelor of Science from Northeastern University in Interdisciplinary Studies and a Master's of Public Administration from American Public University, but he just completed. Congratulations on that. I'm especially proud of that because life is a lifelong learning, and as you go forward, you learn from your environment and you become better for especially our community. So thank you very much for that. Alex is the proud father of two and is now Bluff newest sergeant, and we're here to celebrate that tonight. So thank you very much on that.
Thank you.
I will ask you to read after me for this oath. So please, your right hand. I, Alex van der Linden,
I, Alex van der Linden,
having been appointed to the office of sergeant in the village of Bluff,
have been appointed to the office of sergeant in the village of Lake Bluff,
in the county of Lake aforesaid,
in the county of Lake aforesaid,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duty of the office of sergeant
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of sergeant
as of March 11, 2024,
as of March 11, 2024,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations.
Really? Sergeant. Oh, yeah. I wanted to shake your hands. Thank you, Ross.
Yes.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you for your service.
Congrats, Alex. Thanks, man.
Again, the village of Lake Bluff, I consider it as a big family. You guys are absolutely fundamental to that family. So thank you very much for working, for studying, for making us a better community. Thank you.
Thank you all.
You're going to file out for cake and ice cream? All right.
Enjoy.
Great. Awesome. Thank you. Perpetual Sergeant. Sergeant in the Army. Sergeant.
It's nice.
Nothing required.
Next on our agenda is item number 4, the consideration of the February 26, 2024 regular village board meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve the village board minutes for February 2026?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Are there any changes, any comment on these minutes?
No.
Seeing none, clerk? Voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. The motion carries. Next on our agenda are the non-agenda items and visitors. The village president and board of trustees allocates 15 minutes during this item for those individuals who would like the opportunity to address the village board of trustees on any matter not listed on the agenda. Each person addressing the village board of trustees is asked to limit their comments to a maximum of 5 minutes. And I believe you want to address the board. Please state your name and your address.
I'm Jennifer Beeler, 322 Malman Avenue in Lake Bluff, but I'm also here as president of the Park District Board. I sometimes think board meetings are run almost like we're Olympic athletes. Athletes in the Olympics make it look so easy because they put in all the time to get where they were, and nobody knows, or very few people know, the amount of hours that are put in, the miles that are walked, the cups of coffee that are consumed, and the endless discussions that are had to try to bring things to resolution before a board meeting. I want to thank the village for its support of the Park District. I want to thank them as well for the support of pickleball. I don't think anyone could predict the popularity of this sport, that it just exploded. And now we have to address how pickleball is going to be played in Lake Bluff. As you already know, we took a vote as our board last week, and as of today, I believe you did receive the application for zoning for pickleball in Lake Bluff.
I know I got something at PDF, but it came like at 5:15 when I was up to prepare. I know I have an email from Jeff.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. I hope the PDF opens well.
Yeah.
So, again, I want to say, the village and the Park District may not always see eye to eye on certain matters, but we do see eye to eye on best serving our residents. And that's what we do as public servants. That's what we want to do in serving in this role as volunteers. We both agree that the best path forward is to work as community partners. So again, thank you for the time, and thank you for the efforts that you've put in, and we hope to continue forward on the best foot. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jennifer, for your address.
Thank you.
Are there any questions to Jennifer? Very good, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Are there, I did not see anybody in this room. Are there any people online?
For those attending online, I think there are at least 2 of them are for an item, I know for sure. But if you are participating, we're actually having a technical glitch, and if you want to make a comment, you'll need to make comments in the chat of the Zoom meeting, and then you can get addressed, your comments addressed that way. So apologies for the tech issue. Hopefully have that worked out by the next meeting, but that's the status, and no one's raising their hand or submitting to chat, Mr. President.
Thank you. I say we village finance report, and especially our warrants report for February 27th to March 11, 2024. Is there a motion to approve the warrants report?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. And the warrant would be as a summary of background and reason for request for expenditure of village funds for payment of invoices in the amount of $260,246.76 for February 27 to March 11, 2024. Again, for a total expenditure of $260,246.76. Are there any questions on this report from the board? And I see none. It is a roll call. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Hatch.
Aye.
Trustee Rappin.
Aye.
Trustee Ryder.
Aye.
Trustee Cole.
Aye.
Thank you.
Passes.
Motion carries. Next would be our village administrator's report.
Thank you. I have one report about a recent meeting of an advisory body. On Tuesday, March 5th, last week, the Architectural Board of Review had probably one of its longest meetings it's had in an extremely long time. It was like, what, from 6 to 10, Mike? It was a long night. It was a long night. And part of that was, a big portion of that was actually the ABR was hearing a request for an exemption from the fire sprinkler code for the first time. And spent about an hour and a half hearing a request from 960 to 970 North Shore Drive, and ultimately continued the hearing. Received testimony from the applicant, their attorney, from the village's consultant, but it was a very a great conversation, and I think it's proving to be, as expected, a difficult conversation. And so more to come on that one. But another item that was discussed that I wanted to bring to your attention that was talked about at that same meeting was there was a presentation by the North Shore Water Reclamation District on their project down at the beachfront. They asked for some changes from the previously approved plans for the elevation, the eastern elevation. And I wanted to have our building code supervisor, Mike Croak, walk you all through that change and when ultimately the ABR approved, because I think you'll find it interesting and good. I
Sure.
think.
Yeah, so you have a copy of a drawing at
I'm
your
bringing it up
place
right now.
there. So back in September of 2022, about a year and a half ago, you all saw this project and approved an ordinance granting site plan review on the ABR's recommendation, as well as the approval on the Plan Commission, PCZBA's recommendation, also in the same ordinance. And that ordinance said that the North Shore Water Reclamation District should return to the ABR for final approval of details like colors and finishes and the balcony railing and some of that. They returned to the ABR last week, and the drawing they had sent in to us in advance had more changes than that. It also had removed a roof overhang to the bathrooms that had been on the last version of the plan, we'd seen and that you'd seen. A roof overhang that the ABR had liked. The drawing by AECom was a simpler version of the restroom building that brought the east facade all the way out flush with the rest of the building and eliminated that roof overhang. So Chairman Bob Hunter, ABR Chairman Bob Hunter, did that sketch in front of you and suggested that they re-revise it and to that sketch, which to a large extent takes it back to something similar to the previous design, but also adds some privacy screens in front of the restroom doors. And Tom Swarthout was the Water Reclamation District representative at the meeting, and Steve Waters was online on the Zoom, and Tom said they would make that revision and revise it back to that, which takes it back a little bit to the earlier version. And that was it.
So I want to make sure you saw this because it will be extending easterly some to create these screening areas that the ABR thought was essential to having these restrooms so they're not opening the doors wide open into the public. They thought that was a good approach, and Mr. Swarthout from the NSWRD completely agreed and said, 100%, I agree with you, and we'll do it.
So as drawn, then, will the privacy screen be flush with the existing building, or will it extend out from where the existing building is?
Yeah, no, the privacy screen is extending out, so that's a 7-foot tall screen, I think kind of intended to be like a louvered screen or lattice or something like that.
So the extended roof that they, the roof will. then-
Overhang.
Overhang, will go over to the privacy screen and beyond, or will it simply go to the privacy screen?
No, the roof overhang doesn't even go out as far as the privacy screen. So the roof overhang ends flush with the east side of the existing building as it did previously. And so that front wall of the restroom where the doors are has been pushed back to where it was previously. It's recessed again as it was originally. So the only thing out in front of the east facade is the 7-foot high privacy screens.
Yeah, which makes sense. The need for the privacy screens makes sense.
So I just wanted to share that, so, because you saw, that's what they're planning on, and the SWD was very cooperative, so.
Drew, can you remind us of the timing for this?
So that's a great question too. That there's been a recent change. The original plan was to have all, I would say, substantially complete by Memorial Day, and try to get things back to normal for the summer. They are behind schedule by about 2 months, and had worked with the Park District and the village to really essentially put the whole project on hold and essentially evacuate the site by Memorial Day weekend. Leave it and give them, the Park District, the summer to operate their programs and programming, and then start back after Labor Day. And that's what they're going to do and remobilize. I think what they want to do in a perfect world in terms of the NSWRD's idea is to, that plaza area there, you see with that concrete design, that they would like to get to the point where that is poured and when they leave the site, so that they don't have to come back and do that in the fall. Jeff was, I don't know, what are you, 80-20, that's not gonna be there? Yeah, so it's hard to know, but I think we don't know if they're gonna get to that point, but that's the finish line they wanna get to before they hand the keys over to the Park District for access around Memorial Day, so. But so then they would take, they would come back and be done by the end of November, all done.
And for the Park District, this is primarily about the sailing beach being used.
This is back, this is the Learn to Sail program and just the general access by beachgoers. The idea that they would have, the site still, they would need to have construction fencing up, and it would be difficult for users to try to access it easily.
The sailing structure is not up right now, right?
The sailing structure is not up, but the NSWRD would be done with the storage tank would be complete. It would be back up to grade. The same would be there.
Okay.
I know that the yacht club is working with the NSWRD to try to reach a number that they can agree upon for the investment or reinvestment of the NSWRD into the new compound, what that is. And that I know that the Commodore is talking to them also about, is there a way for them to leave some of that construction fencing down there and reuse that to create a temporary enclosure for them so that they can put the boats in a kind of more secure area than just leaving them on the beach. Okay. So they're trying to work through those operational needs, but everybody seems to be working well together to try to get to that goal.
I'm sorry to take everybody's time on this, but the tank structure will be complete, the sand will be over it, the beach will be usable. The part that's not going to be complete is what we're looking at here.
The aesthetic improvements, the bathrooms, the landscaping, the final finishes on the building, and then the yacht club facility is still in the design phase.
Yeah.
So that they've been talking about, do we pursue a temporary could be 2 years, something to get to. They're not sure yet, but they know they want to try to get the program back and up and running this summer, at least in some skeleton form.
I will have a word on that too as well in my report.
Any other questions?
I'll just, we're meeting this week for Parks and Beach to talk about kayak paddleboard accessibility as well as sailfish accessibility this summer. So, but we'll have a lifeguard station down there and be able to use the shelters over there. So.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Next would be our village attorney's reports, and I understand that Mr. Friedman is sick, and tonight we have Courtney with us.
Hi, everyone. No report.
Thank you, Courtney. Next would be my report. First, I would like to thank Taryn for filling for me 2 weeks ago. I was having a lot of fun skiing, so awesome. Thank you very much. We also had the chance to address, Taryn and I had the chance to address the park board last Monday. So thank you very much for welcoming us. It's our community. We work together and we want to do the best with our community. So thank you very much for being here tonight and working together. Thank you. We also had the chance to address NSWRD, advocating for LBYC a few weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, with a point that the LBYC is concerned with the replacement cost for their compound. The replacement cost was quoted at $111,000. Now, the LBYC has a few members that are expert in large construction, highway constructions, from what I understand. And so the study that was done internally by LBYC quoted the replacement at $243,000, somewhere between $226,000 and $243,000. Obviously, there's a big gap. And so we want to advocate for that, for filling that gap. The reception was a little bit frosty because it's a little bit late in the process. Yet the suggestion of having them doing that build in kind instead of putting forth cash was well received. And so the point is, NSWRD would take the rebuilding of the compound themselves, so saving money. And so we could arrive to a rebuilding that would be appropriate for LBYC, not having to advocate for cash, but still going above $111,000. Okay, that's where it stands. I don't know what will be the future, but this is where we are. Okay? Any questions on that? Seeing none, the last thing I have is, because we are a community and a big family, we had 6 new Eagle Scouts in town this Sunday. This is a big deal. And those are the people getting the books, doing the Veterans Day, doing the food collection. So, and I want to name these scouts. This is Jack Landers, this is Jack Gunter, this is Kevin Gustafson, this is Brent Stauffer, and this is Nick Wemeyer and Jonathan Voida. And so I'm very proud of them. I was their adult leader on a few trips. Those are awesome people. Those are fine 18-year-old adults in our community. So I'm very proud of them.
We give them a round of applause in case they're watching.
And that would be my report. Next item would be item 11, the acceptance of a correspondence. Please note that all correspondence was delivered to the Village Board of Trustees in the informational reports on February 23rd and March 1st, 2024. Is there a motion to accept the correspondence?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on this correspondence? It's a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you very much. The motion carries. Moving forward with item 12 as a second reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 11 of Title 10 of a municipal code regarding tree care standards. Is there a motion to approve this ordinance?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. As you may recall, the village was recently awarded an urban and community forestry grant through the Morton Arboretum for the Chicago Region Tree Initiative. The $25,000 grant will assist with the village's updated tree inventory and street tree trimming currently in progress. As part of a grant requirement, municipalities are required to adopt a tree preservation and protection ordinance. Because the village already has extensive tree requirements, only a handful of minor text amendments are required. Per the Morton Arboretum review, the following updates are needed. A clear statement of the value and service of the urban forest as infrastructure. Number 2, identified individual and or groups responsible for making decisions about tree and enforcement of the ordinance. Number 3, updated standards related to tree care, planting, and pruning. Number 4, requirements for contracted tree maintenance, including skill and insurance. The staff has proposed text amendments that the Morton Arboretum CRTI has approved to meet the grant requirements. This includes recognizing trees as an integral part of community infrastructure, adding language specifically for public trees regarding the enforcement of ordinance provisions and tree maintenance contractor requirements, and updating definitions to reflect the most up-to-date nursery stock standards and tree care standards, following NC standards. On February 21st, 2024, the PCZBA held a public hearing and unanimously voted 5-0 to forward a favorable recommendation to the village board on this request. The village board approved first reading of the ordinance at its February 26th meeting. Are there any questions? Moving forward with a roll call vote. Clerk?
Trustee Rappin. Aye. Trustee Ryder.
Aye.
Trustee Cole.
Aye.
Trustee Hatch.
Aye.
Thank you, and the motion carries. Thank you very much. Next is item 13, an ordinance amending the Lake Bluff Municipal Code to establish standards for part-time police officers. Is there a motion to approve the ordinance?
So moved.
Second?
Thank you. Currently, the village employs 15 full-time sworn law enforcement professionals with the ability to also appoint auxiliary police officers with limited enforcement powers. Consistent with a recently approved collective bargaining agreement, the village has started the 12-hour schedule pilot program, completed the promotion process to name a few sergeant, we just did that, and now stands ready to hire part-time police officers who will help the police department provide effective and sustained police response. The attached draft ordinance establishes a pathway for the appointment and management of part-time police officers, as well as details how they will be compensated and provided workers' compensation coverage. Police Chief Matt Smersminski will be present at the upcoming meeting to answer any questions of the village board. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Chief. Are there any questions to Police Chief?
My question is, how do we anticipate utilizing part-time police officers? My curiosity is if we think that we'll kind of use them each week, or are they as needed? We'll call people in when we have vacations to fill for, or how is that?
Yeah, so
expect?
all those great comments, right? And part of this too is this is a new experience for us as well too, right? So it's going to be with our 12-hour process that we're kind of learning as we're going along as well to see how we're going to plug and play that effectively as well, right? So that gives us 3 more opportunities to, help, like I said, alleviate maybe some vacation time, right? Or help, officers get a little time off and, help supplement that through the part-time officers, right? Same thing when we have community events, we're trying to do some details. That gives us an opportunity to potentially have 3 more officers that are, more tied to the village to help us with those. So we see a lot of opportunity there. It may even be through investigations, helping us there. May see us through some of our training programs, or when we're trying to do a whole bunch of training for our full-timers, that sometimes those part-timers might be able to help facilitate those officers to go get that done while they cover the road. So there's a lot of opportunity there, and we're going to explore every which way possible.
I have a question for you. So the people you would hire as part-timers are sergeanted police officers from other communities, or a sheriff, county sheriff officers, or what are the people that we would hire?
So yes, how we envision this is, and what the plan is, to have those officers that can be certified as a full-time police officer here, so the same qualifications as a full-time police officer for our standards, be those candidates, right? So they would still follow some of that review process that we do with any full-time patrol officer to ensure that we're, keeping that high-quality standard that we expect in the village.
Likely working in this nearby community, or,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes, I know that a security firm, I can't remember their name, they're on Waukegan and 176, as a set of security guards that are also former police officers. So would these individuals be part of your pool?
So we still have a standard that we're looking back from our Board of Fire and Police Commissioners, where it's within the 2 years of leaving their agency in the full-time status, right, or currently in good standing with their agency, right? So we're looking at essentially our lateral process as the mechanism to vet these officers as well at this point.
But maybe, right?
But
Depends-
maybe.
Yeah, right. The
Right.
answer is maybe. So
Depends.
depends on how far they're out of working for full-time from their prior employer.
Okay, I have an answer, thank you.
Yeah.
Are there any more questions to Matt? It is a voice vote? No, it's a roll call.
It's first reading, it's voice vote.
It's a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion carries. Thank you very much, Chief. Next item is item 14, a resolution authorizing the execution of a construction contract with Schroeder and Schroeder, Inc. of Skokie, Illinois, and waiver of competitive bids for the Village of Lake Bluff fiscal year 2025 miscellaneous concrete replacement project. Is there a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. In 2023, the Village of Lake Bluff, through the Municipal Partnering Initiative, joined with 6 nearby municipalities to jointly bid the concrete street, curb, and sidewalk work for all 7 municipalities. The village subsequently awarded the project to the lowest bidder, Schroeder and Schroeder, Inc. of Skokie, Illinois. For 2024, Schroeder and Schroeder has offered to extend the contract with a 4% increase in unit prices from the 2023 rates. No new MPI bid was taken this year. Village staff believes it is in the best interest of the village to agree to the 4% increase, waive the competitive bidding process, and award a contract in the amount of $74,750 to Schroeder and Schroeder. The village's proposed fiscal year 2025 budget includes $75,000 for the miscellaneous concrete replacement project. Schroeder and Schroeder has completed this annual village project numerous times in the past. The village engineer is recommending the waiver of competitive bidding and that an award be made to Schroeder and Schroeder in the amount of $74,750.
Drew, all 6 of these communities need to do this waiver, right? That's
It depends on the procurement policies, but presumably, yes.
I don't know that everyone renewed, but the ones I talked to all had renewed.
And so this is basically our preferred provider of service, or lowest bidder.
This is the lowest bidder. I've had problems with every concrete contractor we've ever had, so you pick your poison a little bit. But one of the issues is they work on volume, so they they kind of work like locusts sometimes. They leave a little mess behind, and you have to get them to come clean up. But I think this is the best we're going to do. The 1 year we tried not to use Shorter, we bid it out. We got one company who I don't think existed, and Shorter was number 2. But by bidding it ourselves, we paid a higher price than the MPI did. So that's why I feel this is the best way to go and
Got
just
it.
help them clean up when they're done.
So that requires a little bit more babysitting from yourself at your office.
Yeah.
Basically.
Get used to it.
Thank you. Any more questions, Jeff?
No?
All right, thank you. It is a roll call vote. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Ryder,
Aye.
Trustee Cole,
Aye.
Trustee Hatch,
Aye.
Trustee Rappin.
Aye.
Thank you. Next item is item 15, a resolution authorizing the execution of a contract with Axon Enterprises, Inc. for the purchase of conducted electrical weapons, tasers. Is there a motion to approve this resolution?
Motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Consistent with the department use of force policy, all Lake Bluff Police Patrol officers carry a firearm, are assigned oleoresin capsicum spray, a baton, and a conducted electrical weapon, a CW or a tasers. In 2015, the police department implemented a CW program through a purchase from Taser International, now Axon Enterprises, Inc., to add another less than lethal use of force option for law enforcement professionals. Our department, like many others, has found that both or limited actual utilization of tasers has been successful, and the mere presence of CWs has contributed to the de-escalation of potentially physical encounters. All department tasers were replaced for no additional charge back in 2020. At this time, the village is looking to replace the tasers X2s because they are no longer under warranty or in production by Axon. And replacement probes for the X2s are being phased out and will soon cease production. Since the village purchase of the original tasers X2 9 years ago, Axon has produced a third Taser 7 and fourth generation model Taser 10. Village staff recommends the purchase of the Axon Taser 10 model over a 10-year period with locked-in pricing, full warranties, and replacement CWs after 5 years. This purchase, if authorized, includes 18 Tasers 10s pricing, full warranty, and replacement CWs after 5 years. And I repeated that line. This purchase, if authorized, includes 18 Taser stands with holsters, training equipment, batteries, cartridges, along with live fire and training probes for 18 officers that are replenished every year, all for a cost of $16,435.98 the first year, $16,348.26 in year 2, and then $19,239.11 each of the remaining 8 years. As you will recall, the village utilizes other Axon products and services, the body-worn cameras, the patrol vehicle camera, and related cloud storage, and that all integrate seamlessly. Acting on the attached proposal prior to the end of March will secure the lowest pricing for the village. There are sufficient funds in the police department budget to replace and upgrade the CW program. Police Chief Matt Smersminski will be available for questions on Monday night regarding this recommended purchase.
I've got a question.
Sure.
So do we currently, so this is over the period in which we're going to have these between $16,000 and $19,000. Are we currently paying a fee annually?
So no current fee except for when we have to do training, which is, as Eric will explain more of the training if he can, to replace the cartridges that we have now when we do our live fire training. That's really our cost right now for those.
And is that because we had paid off the previous?
Correct.
So there was a period in time which we paid.
We paid off the previous, and then we paid for an extended warranty for a couple extra years after
Okay.
they were paid off, but the warranty is gone now. And then the only thing, yes, that we would continually have to purchase is the probes for training or replacements for ones actually used in the field. This program actually includes it now. They just basically work that into the pricing for training for 10 years. And the estimated amount of how many you might actually use in the field, and they just replace them. You just tell them we had an incident, and they replace it.
This is a different product from what we had before. So the big kind of difference that we see in this is the traditional taser that we've had deploys 2 probes at once, and it spreads, right? So the closer you are, the less the spread, the further you are, the more the spread, right? There's kind of a sweet spot of where that spread kind of has most effective, right? The difference with this product that is a kind of different approach is that it has multiple single rounds in it. So the officer actually is aiming individually and trying to get that best possible contact. It also extends the range. So we can actually reach further. So if we are dealing with a situation, we can be a little further back and be able to engage that person at a safer distance than we were with the probes that we have now, with that taser platform.
Yeah, right now you can basically miss once, and if after that, then you're out of luck. This one, you can miss 8 times, and you can still make it work. So it gives you a little bit more.
Or 2, if the person tries to rip the probe off or anything like that with the single use, it's gone.
How many times a year is a taser drawn in Lake Bluff?
Not that often.
Okay.
But sometimes some of it too is, oh, I see you got that.
Deterrent.
Right? It's deterrence, right? So sometimes that's even better, right? So we're not
For sure.
deploying, it's just.
There's a story I heard, you told me, Eric, that, do you want to tell the story?
I've had a few. Is it the taser? We're chasing a person that was in a stolen car and chasing through the Chevy Exchange lot, and all I did was yell "taser, taser." Well, we didn't have tasers. This was 2014. I just decided to yell it and use my flashlight. And as soon as I yelled it, the guy stopped, turned around, and did this. So just the threat of having them that made that chase a lot shorter than it needed to be. So which was nice. But I've actually had the taser out, and for other situations where I've clicked it on, and the person, okay, I don't want to fight anymore.
Yeah.
So okay.
So some of those are a little immeasurable, right? But obviously it's solved some potentially volatile situations for us. So.
And what happens to the old tasers?
They will be, that's part of why the first 2 years, the lower price, is the return value that they're giving us. And then I don't know what they do with them because they don't warranty them or sell them, but they are giving us credit for them.
Cool. We talked about presenting this as a sole source. There's really no other taser manufacturers out there.
Oh,
Okay.
So you have 18 tasers, so that's 15 for your full-time and 3 kept on the side for your part-time as they are.
Correct. Then yes, part-time replacements, ones goes down, they're very good about shipping us new ones, but if there's a short period of time, a week or 2, before we get them, they can, we always have replacements then for the full-time guys.
Thank you.
what's the life expectancy on these new ones?
Well, I don't want to say life expectancy, but they call it the refresh, so at 5 years, as long as we're staying on the 10-year plan, then at 5 years, they give us brand new ones.
I see.
And then we use those for the next 5 years till the end of that contract. And then at the end of that contract, we can do what we did with this one, is just keep them and then just buy the warranty for another year or 2 until we decide we want to start the process over again. At that point, they might be on Taser 25.
Yeah.
They're a corporate company, so they want to make money too. So we'll see. But we'll get brand new ones in 5 years as part of the deal.
I see.
I mean, the only thing that worries me in that is they're turning their contract into a buy to a licensing, a subscription contract.
Yep.
So I'm a little bit afraid of.
But they're the only show, right?
Exactly. And so do they speak about a cost of, an increase in the cost of subscription to this program? Have they?
That's the other reason why we're recommending going into this 10-year contract, because it locks in the pricing.
Locks in the prices.
Correct. So that's same thing with the cartridges and everything. So we've come to the board before, we're like, hey, we have to get an authorization for, $3,000 for these, cartridges at the time. And that happened a few times. Where we at least know everything every year for the next 10 years, where we're gonna be, right? So we plugged it into the budget, and we know that number is static. for at least the next 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe they built into the pricing their version of what the inflation level might be, so that way they don't have to change the contract. So they're still gonna make money in year 9 and year 10, but it's built into the current contract, so there won't be a change in the price.
They're the only manufacturer in town, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Are there any more questions on the board? It is a, thank you, guys. It is a roll call vote. Clerk?
Trustee Cole,
Aye.
Trustee Hatch,
Aye.
Trustee Rappin,
Aye.
Trustee Ryder.
Aye.
Thank you
Vote
very
carries.
much. The motion carries. Next item is our trustees report. Do any trustees wish to make a report tonight?
Yep.
And moving forward with item 18, that would be the consider,
You have 16.
oops, I'm sorry.
One more.
No, you know what, the title was very similar, sorry about that.
Oh, yeah.
So item
Body-worn
16, a resolution authorizing a contract moving forward. A contract change order for the purchase of additional Axon Enterprise Inc. body-worn cameras and related software. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Second?
Thank you. In accordance with the Safety, Accountability, Fairness, and Equity Today Act, all Lake Bluff police officers must wear body cameras by January 1st, 2025. As you may recall, in the spring of 2023, the village board authorized the purchase of the Axon Enterprise Incorporated system, the Axon system, comprised of 15 body-worn cameras and a cloud-based digital evidence management software storage solution for the department. The Axon system partners with the police department's current Axon tasers to store, manage, retrieve, and share captured digital evidence seamlessly with the Lake County State Attorney's Office and the Village Prosecutor's Office through a digital cloud link. With the recent addition of a sergeant and part-time police officers to the department, the purchase of 3 additional BWCs, body-worn cameras, and an upgraded software license for the newly promoted sergeant position is necessary. Pricing for the current Axon system is based on a 5-year program at a cost that was not to exceed $35,000 per year, and the additional cost for the 3 new camera and license will be $17,538.10 over the balance of a contract term. Consistent with the village's purchasing policy, village board approval of a contract change order is required. Please note that there are adequate funds included in the current year budget to cover this additional expense. Again, for our next 3 officers and for our sergeant, thank you.
So just this, with our addition of the 3 part-time patrol officers, this obviously puts us in compliance if all persons are working at the same time. And then with the licensing as well, so supervisors are then able to have access to those body camera footage and be able to manage that on the line level with those that they're obviously supervising. So currently we have licensing for those in those administrative positions. We would need to add to 1 additional one. So that's where we've gotten those numbers.
Thank you. Any questions on the board to Matt and Eric? No?
Thank you.
Thank you. It is a roll call. Clerk, please call a roll.
Trustee Hatch,
Aye.
Trustee Rappin,
Aye.
Trustee Ryder,
Aye.
Trustee Cole.
Aye.
The motion carries.
Thank you very much. And so this time, item 18, the consideration of the February 12 and 26, 2024 executive session meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes?
So moved.
Second?
Thank you. Are there any questions, discussions and concern on these minutes? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Rappin,
Aye.
Trustee Ryder,
Aye.
Trustee Cole?
Aye.
Trustee Hatch?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Just, this has to do with the taser. Somebody posted, one of the representatives from Axon was on the call and made a comment, said that we recycle the tasers once received back at our headquarters in Scottsdale, Arizona. That's what they do with the old tasers. They're recycled.
Thank you.
Sorry, just want to clarify
Great.
that. Sorry.
Thank you for the clarification to that person online.
Yep.
I believe that we have an executive session tonight,
Yes, sir.
and that would be for property sale or lease and probable litigation.
For determining price of property. Setting price. And probable and/or imminent litigation.
So do you need a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Just a
Yes, sir.
second.
I'll make that
So,
motion.
Not to adjourn.
I believe that we have an executive session following. May I have a motion to go into closed session for the purpose of discussing setting price and probable litigation pursuant to the Illinois Open Meetings Act, and that upon the adjournment of a closed session, this regular meeting will be deemed to automatically be adjourned by the same vote without the conduct of any further business. Motion to go into session?
So moved?
Second.
Thank
Just to
you.
be clear, that's the setting of a price for sale or lease of property owned by the village. Just to clarify that.
Thank you. This is a roll call.
Trustee Ryder?
Aye.
Trustee Cole?
Aye.
Trustee Hatch?
Aye.
Trustee Rappin?
Aye.
Thank you. This concludes the open part of the village board meeting. Thank you to anyone in attendance, and have a great evening.